Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into one of the most, elegant features of the Arabic language, how it can build a word for a tool right out of the verb for the action that tool performs. It's really cool.
So let's just jump right in with a question. Have you ever thought about this? How does the action of opening somehow become the object we use to do the opening, a key? You know, in Arabic, that's not just a happy accident. It's actually part of a brilliant grammatical system that literally connects an action to its instrument.
And the answer to that question is a concept called al-Aalah. Now, that literally translates to the noun of the instrument. Think of it as this little engine inside the language that just turns actions into tools.
Okay, so what is it technically? al-Aalah is a derived noun. And that word, derived, is absolutely crucial here. It means the word isn't just invented out of thin air. Nope, it's engineered directly from the verb, from the action word itself.
A really simple way to think about it is like this. The language takes the raw material, the action word, and it literally forges it into a brand new tool word. It's just a beautiful and incredibly efficient way to build your vocabulary.
So how does this forging actually happen? Well, it's not random at all. Arabic uses a set of standard blueprints, or what grammarians call awzan, which just means patterns. Let's take a look at the three big ones.
And here they are. You've got Mif'alun, Mif'alatun, and Mif'alun. What is so remarkable about this is that pretty much every classical noun of instrument is built using one of these three molds. You just take the root letters of a verb and you kind of pour them into the structure of one of these patterns.
All right, that's enough theory. Let's head into the word workshop. Let's see exactly how these patterns transform a simple verb into an actual tangible tool. I promise you, this is where it all starts to click.
So our first piece of raw material is this three-letter root verb, fataha. It just means to open. A very common, very simple action, right?
Now, watch this. We take that root, the F, T, and H sounds, and we apply the Mif'alun pattern to it. We're going to slot our root letters right into that blueprint, and boom, out pops a brand new word. And there it is. This gets us right back to our very first question. Miftah is the word for key. It is, quite literally, the instrument of opening. The logic is baked right into the word's DNA. So cool. Let's try another one. Okay, next up, the verb Miknasah, which means to sweep. Now, just think for a second. What's the tool you'd use for that action? All right, this time we're going to use a different pattern. Mif'alatun. We take the root letters K, N, and S. We apply the pattern, and what we get is Miknasah. And there you have it. Miknasah is a broom, the instrument of sweeping. You see how this works? Once you know the patterns, you can start to deconstruct and just understand the language on a totally different level.
And this system is just so versatile. I mean, look at this. The verb to see, nazara, gives us minzar, a telescope, an instrument for seeing. The verb to lick, lakia, gives us milaka, a spoon. It even works for something powerful. The verb to push away, dafa'a, becomes midfa, which is a cannon. It's just so consistent and powerful.
Now, I know what you might be wondering. What about plurals? And are there exceptions to this rule? And of course, the answer is yes. So let's get into some of the finer details.
Okay, here's a really crucial point. While the singular nouns follow those three neat and tidy patterns, the plurals, well, they don't. They don't just add an S on the end like in English. Instead, Arabic uses something called a broken plural, where the whole internal structure of the word changes. So one key is miftah, but if you have many keys, they become mafateh. It's a completely different internal pattern.
And, it's also really important to remember that not every single word for a tool is a derived al-Aalah. Some words are what we call underived. They weren't formed from a verb. So words like siphon for sword or qalamun for pen, those are just considered standalone nouns. They have their own unique identities. Okay, so let's tie this all together. What are the key takeaways from this really elegant system?
So let's recap. First, al-Aalah is the Arabic noun of the instrument. Second, it's built from a verb root using one of those three classic patterns, which creates this amazing logical system for vocabulary. Third, remember the plurals are broken. They change their internal form. And finally, don't forget that some tool words are the exceptions. They're fundamental nouns, not derived from actions.
And that all kind of leads to a final thought.
I mean, this system was designed centuries ago. As we continue to invent totally new tools, for computing, for space travel, for medicine, it really makes you wonder, will languages keep using these ancient grammatical structures to name them, or are we going to find entirely new ways to coin the words that define our future? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer.